Hi, thanks for joining us today. In the previous video, we got to the point where we have this formula. This is the most important video from this unit, from this section of this unit. Here we go. We're going to use this formula. If AB is a point on F, BA is a point on F inverse, which we'll call G, and then their slopes are just reciprocals, not opposite reciprocals. Not opposite reciprocals. So how can we do this in a nice formal system? We can do this. A lot of times we'll have a given information. They like to present it this way. Sometimes you'll have functions. Sometimes you'll just get thrown a bunch of stuff. The biggest tip I could ever give anyone is to make a table or chart to organize our data. Whenever you're presented with some data, you should make a chart. Our chart will have a few different things going on. We'll start out with the point A comma B. So that'll be a point we know. This is a point on F. A point on F. We can translate to a point on F inverse. Which we'll call G. That'll be B comma A. If AB is on F, then BA is on F inverse. Okay. This will help us organize some stuff. So, for instance, we know these 3 points. We don't know anything else about F. We know that it has these 3 points. So I know, for instance, so we're going to have some stuff on the sides. So just leave some space here and here. Now I wouldn't make this table here. I'd make the table over here for you. But I need to write big. So, we know the point -1 comma 1 is on F. That's what this one says. Middle one says the point 0, 2 is on F. When you plug in x equals 0, you get y equals 2. And the point 1 comma 5 is on F. So that tells us 3 points on F inverse, or G. Tells you the point 1 comma -1 is on G. It tells you the point 2 comma 0 is on G. And it tells you the point 5 comma 1 is on G. Okay. Now what are they asking us for? They're asking about G prime. So G prime is going to go over here for us. F inverse prime, however you want to think of it. Okay? G prime of 1. That's what we would get here if we plugged in 1 to G prime. So we can figure out who that is. To go back, we would go through this row. To find G prime of 1, I would ask myself, which is the y coordinate I had, because that would be the right x coordinate. So I guess we would call that G prime of B. I'm sorry. And over here, in red, we'll have F prime of A. So that would be F prime of -1. Which I knew was 3/2 from my table. So that means G prime of 1 is the reciprocal, not the opposite reciprocal. 2/3. And that's how it goes. F prime of A, F prime of 0, they told us was 2. F prime of 1 they told us was 1/2. So, staying in the same row, to get to g prime of 2, the x coordinate here, the y coordinate here, is 1/2. G prime of 5, the x coordinate here, the y coordinate here, is 2. So that's the table in a nutshell. We take the values here and we find the reciprocals. So like I said, I hope you made your table somewhere up there. See how neat I was? So, which of these can we answer? Because it says if possible. G prime of 1, 2/3. That's in the first row of my table. G prime of 2, 1/2. Second row of my table. G prime of 3. G prime of 3 is not possible. To know G prime of 3, I'd have to have 3 comma somebody. This is how your homework will go. Sometimes you can find a way to figure out who that somebody would have to be. So this would be somebody, this is how you would figure it out, comma 3. But we can't figure out whose y value this is. There's no function rule to get this y value. There's no function rule out of which to get a y value here. There's no function rule to figure out how to translate between the question mark and the 3. And then we would look at f prime of that question mark value. But none of this is possible because they don't have a rule. So we would say not possible. I'll write it out. Not possible. I don't want you to write undefined. I do not want you to write does not exist. Those are not accurate answers. This is not possible with the given data. It's different than being undefined. It is different than being does not exist. Plain and simple. G prime of 0. Do we get it? No. G prime of 0 would be the same exact thing I just said. So for the same reason, this is not possible. And G prime of 5, 2. So, not possible, not possible. It's more likely that someone will say G prime of 0 is 1/2. People are often tempted to say G prime of 0 is 1/2 because they have the same x coordinate. Again, just because you see the x coordinate over here, you should use the table. The table is the key to all of this. Okay. So, you should go ahead right now and do your best to try 5 through 8. 4 through 8? 4 through 8. They get progressively harder, but if you keep this in mind, G prime of B. Oh, so I need to know B, comma, question mark, comma, B, F prime of question mark. You'll do fine. Let me know how it goes. Talk to you later. Have fun.